Hello, today's fun art project will be making a colorful fish. Here is your learning goal. I can explore line, shape, color, texture, and patterns. Let's talk about lines. Lines have names. Do you know the names of these lines? The top one is called a zigzag. The next one is straight, and then curved lines, and the bottom one is a wavy line. Look at the scales on these fish. Notice how the curved lines repeat over and over. That creates a texture. A texture is how something feels. These fish would feel scaly. Texture is a lot like pattern, where you repeat a line or shape. Today, you're going to be making a large fish and fill it with patterns and textures, and then we'll talk about color. Let's begin with a pencil and a piece of white paper. I would suggest you turn your paper the horizontal sideways direction and draw a big oval in the middle. At the very bottom, you can draw a wiggly or wavy line to represent the sand at the bottom of the ocean floor. Pause the video whenever you need to catch up. Step 2 is to add a tail to one end of the fish. You can try to do your tail like mine, or you can make yours a little bit different. Are you ready for step 3? We're going to make up a fin for the top of the fish and for the bottom of the fish. Yours could be pointy like mine or curvy. The next step is to draw one curved line from the top of the fish to the bottom where you would like the face to be, and then add a fun eye and mouth. You are now ready for some texture. We're going to start by adding one row of scales that touch the curved line that you drew for the face. Now we'll fill the whole body up with row after row of scales that all touch each other, and they look like little curved lines. That will take a while, but whenever you're done with the scales, move on to drawing lines that repeat in the fins and in the tail. They could be straight lines, curved lines, or wavy lines. Here are photos of some tropical fish. Look at their colors and their patterns. We're going to be using color next. I want you to pick out 5 colors that you're going to use for your fish and only use those 5. So put away the others and just choose your 5 colors. That way you're forced to repeat the colors over and over and over, and it looks like a pattern. The best looking fish have the scales colored in one at a time, individually, with the crayons or markers. If you take your time with this coloring, you probably will not be able to finish coloring that fish during this first art period. We only have 45 minutes, so you'll probably color in about half the fish today, and then we're going to stop and come back next week to watch part 2 of the video where we can continue coloring in the fish, and we can also add exciting water lines, sand, and seaweed to our picture. Welcome back to part 2, week 2 of your colorful fish project. Today we're going to be filling in the water, the sand, and creating the seaweed. The first thing you should do is continue on with your 5 colors that you chose last week to color in your fish. Color in every spot of that fish, every scale, the tail, the fins. Color it all in very neatly. The water should be done with a different material. So if you used markers for your fish, you could do the water in crayon if you're at home and that's all you have. If you've got watercolor paints, you can paint the water with different colored stripes. And if you have Duodots, which we have in the classroom, you can use those for your water. Let's look at how some students did the water in their pictures. Wavy lines, stripes, repeated lines, wiggly lines. Those are some ways that the water was colored in. This student colored in every inch of their water. They filled it in with all the cool colors, blues, greens, and purples. That's a great idea. When you're ready for the seaweed, can you figure out what these students used to create that seaweed? They used tissue paper, colored tissue paper, and they twisted up little pieces of it into long lines, and then glued them to the bottom of their page so it's touching the sand. If you don't have any sand yet, be sure you color in the sandy part first before you attach any tissue seaweed. If you don't have tissue paper at home, you could just try colored paper or wrapping paper. Cut a little piece of it and twist it up in your hands until it's skinny and thick, and then glue it onto your paper. In the classroom, we'll probably cut around our finished fish and glue them onto a big piece of blue or aqua paper, like this student did. And then maybe add some sequins for some sparkles to the fish. If you're doing this from home, you can change a lot of the materials. Maybe the seaweed will be made out of yarn, colored yarn, and maybe you have glitter at home that you want to add to your fish. Be creative and show me what you're able to create. Now go have fun making your colorful fish with your beautiful water, sand, seaweed, and sparkles. I can't wait to see it.